Hello, all my cruising and travel friends. It's Rob here with Cruising on the High Seas and Travel. Here again with my dearest friend, Dewey Skis. How you doing tonight?
Hello, everybody. Doing good. Trying to stay out of trouble.
Oh, that's the key thing, trying to stay out of trouble.
Or trying to get into more, depending which way sounds more fun.
All right, let's try. Let's see if we can actually get you the same size as I am. Well, that's not. Like I told you, eventually I will figure out how to do it. It's always fun. Like I hit a button and it just magically, messes things up.
Oh yeah, that's the one fun thing with software like this. There's so many things to learn about it that sometimes you just get it to happen, and it's like, what did I do?
Yep. But today we are doing another LGBTQ plus. That tongue twister. There's so many letters, and before you know, like we said before, they will just keep adding more letters to it.
Really? Hopefully the plus stops all of that. So
yes, let's hope the plus does stop all of that. But like I said, I will figure out. But while we are covering all that, we will dive into the opening, which is tonight's topic is Pride Spotlight. That doesn't sound right. Only if I can actually get this a little bit bigger. Pride Spotlight. What happens? That's because can we all? Okay, bottom line. No hate or negativity. Join the conversation and let's set sail.
oh.
So we will start off with the first one that we have here, as we are waiting for people to join us in the chat. And it is welcoming an introduction. Welcome everyone, and explain what tonight's topic is. Ask viewers where they are watching from, so let us know where you are watching from. And we're asking if anyone has been on LGBTQ plus cruise. And of course, welcome in all the viewers from hashtag Team Replay. And leave us some cruise ships, 5 of them to be exact, if you are on Team Replay. So our next one we are going to go with is, what is an LGBTQ plus cruise? Would you like to start that one off, Dewey?
Well, basically, you have two different kinds. You have, a cruise where the entire passenger list is a member of the community, or you have others where they just have a large presence on the ship. So some of the bigger cruises that charter out a cruise ship, stuff like Vakaya and Atlantis, and there's a few others out there. And then you have others that they just, like any other group cruise, they'll just have a big group of people on a regular cruise. So
that's correct. And what I came up here was charter cruises versus regular cruise, where who can attend these cruises and why. I'll just pull up something bigger because half of it is being hidden by my screen. So I'll just pull up the easier way. Luckily, I sent all of it to you. So
yep, I've got it up right here on my phone.
Screen here.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. It's right here.
My little cheat thing here. But don't cheat in school. It's not good for you.
Long past that stage.
So charter cruises versus regular cruises, and then who can attend these cruises and why they're so popular. So, like Dewey mentioned, that there are charter ones, and then there are regular ones that aren't fully chartered out, or just aren't chartered out. Period at all.
Yeah. And basically, like any other cruise, anybody can attend any of them. There's nothing that I've ever heard of that restricts, like on the charter cruises, that you have to be a member of the LGBTQ plus community in order to book it. Anybody who, is a member of the community or an ally, they can go on. Anybody can go on the cruise. They just have to understand, especially on a charter cruise, they just have to understand if that's not their cup of tea, it's probably going to be hard to avoid. But otherwise, the only I have never been on a fully chartered one, but I have been on one where we had like 700 people on the ship as part of the group booking and stuff. And so we had a lot of our own activities, and people that were on the ship already, if they wanted to attend, they could attend for a fee, an entertainment fee to attend our events, because we were all covered by when we booked the cruise to include in all the events. So we never restricted it to anybody. It's just if you weren't already a member of our group, then you had to pay a fee it wasn't a free event that the ship sponsored. So you had to pay to attend it. But otherwise, it's pretty much open to anybody. And they're popular because of that, because it's always nice to go on a cruise where you feel like you're a part of a community that recognizes you and supports you. But other people also enjoy going on the cruise, same kind of cruises, because they enjoy spending time, or they know a bunch of people, or they're very supportive of that same community. So I've had a number of people cruise with me who are very supportive, and they have no problems with me. I have no problems with them. And then I've had other times when I've traveled just with a bunch of fellow gay friends. So,
yeah. So, Dewey saying that they are very popular, and like you really don't have to be exclusively out to this. But if you're gonna book a cruise like that, be prepared that that's the kind of cruise it's going to be.
Yeah, you can't go on a cruise like that and expect things to change because you don't like it. Now, if you go on a chartered cruise, you're probably going to know that. On the other one, like the cruise that I went on where we just had a large group, I don't know if any other members of any other passengers on the cruise were aware that we were there. I don't know of any cruise line that lets you know that this group or that group is booked on the cruise. So unless you heard about it, you probably wouldn't know. But that's you never know when you go on any cruise what kind of people are going to be on it. They could all be good people. There could be some bad people. There could be all kinds of different people. So
it could even be even a mixture.
Exactly. So I don't think the people that were on the cruise that I was on were aware that we were there as a group, but I have been on other cruises before where I knew of groups that were going to be on the cruise that I wasn't necessarily a part of, but we have, what was it? I think it was one group cruise I went on. I can't remember now which one, but I had found out that on that very same cruise there was a large contingent of drag queens on that cruise. They were going to have their own private events and all that stuff. That wasn't like they were going to be mixing and mingling and causing problems, but I did know of a few people on that cruise that may be an issue with, and I wanted them to be aware of it. So if that bothered them, they would decide not to go, because I'd rather them decide not to go than to make a big scene and make an issue of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think the cruise ships do anything to let you know about other groups that are booked. Now,
Not that I know of.
if you ask, they may tell you, but it's not like they advertise it unless the group doing the booking is using the cruise to help book their events. That may be a different story. But like when we went the last cruise we went on for Helping Hands for cruising, Norwegian was aware of that. They helped. You know, if people contacted them instead of us, then they would help get them directed into booking with our group and all that kind of stuff. But unless you ask for the cruise line's assistance, I don't think to them it's just more paying passengers. They don't care.
Yep. To them, like you said, it's more pay passengers. The only thing I've ever heard of the cruise line telling you about something, and normally it's not in your advantage, is basically that your cruise has been chartered out, and yeah, you need to find a new booking
Yeah,
because
I've been, and I just heard today too. There was a bunch of Carnival cruises that got rebooked as their adult only versions. So they had to notify guests that were already booked on those particular cruises that that was the case, and if they had kids or something, they had to offer them the opportunity to book somewhere else. But these were all on one ship, and I think they were going out of, can't remember if it was New Orleans or Texas, but um, oh, it was on the Jubilee. There was like,
Jubilee, so that'd be Galveston.
okay, then I think there was like 6 to 8 cruises that they repurposed as an adults only cruise, and so I'm sure they've had to go through notifying anybody that had those cruise booked if they didn't qualify for that, to give them an opportunity to rebook somewhere else.
Rebook somewhere else and maybe give them some OBCs or
Yeah.
some type of.
Yeah, when they change things after you've booked, I think it's only right that they do something to make it right, because especially, a big chunk of people who travel like that, especially on cruises, they they're not like me who just go whenever they want. They have to arrange for time off from work, vacation time, get family free, whoever's in their group with them. There's a lot of arrangements to be made. And if you just change the whole thing on somebody, they can't just say, okay, fine, I'll go the next week. It doesn't necessarily work that way. So
Not quite.
yeah, so it can be a major inconvenience for people.
Because now they have to rearrange the puzzle pieces, as I like to put it.
Well, it's just
And
like when the airlines do that too, when they overbook a flight and they want to rebook you on another flight for, you know, hours later or maybe even the next day. The government has now set forth rules, and I don't think they have the same rules in effect for the cruise industry, but for the airline industry, if you get bumped, rebooked, whatever, there's different time frames that the airline will owe you. I was reading a story today where if your flight gets bumped, you get bumped like to another flight 3 hours away. If it's at least 3 hours away from your original booking time, the airline owes you something like 400% times the one-way fare of that flight in compensation. So, they don't have anything like that I know of for cruises right now, but it with all of these changes that keep getting made spur of the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen somewhere along the line.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And then that would be more on the ones that are on a guaranteed booking.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a guaranteed booking, this is what my room number is, you're sailing.
And the cruise lines do have themselves covered well, because in the fine print of stuff that nobody ever reads, they reserve the right to make changes at any time for any reason. So, as long as they notify you and take due diligence on everything, they're pretty much off the hook, no matter how hard you think they're in the wrong. So,
yeah, because even when I'm at work and I hear that we're in an oversold situation, we need X number of people to travel tomorrow or later in the day on this flight, connecting through here or wherever they may end up doing, the lowest offer I've ever heard of is $400, and
I have
that's in
heard airlines offer up to $1,000 for somebody to switch their flight, but that's rare.
and I heard it go all the way up to about 28.
Ooh, nice. I would take that.
But now keep in mind that's not $2,800 in your cash in your pocket.
No, it's usually in credit.
That's 28 in credit with that airline. So if you're planning another trip, that can easily pay for that airfare for you.
Oh yeah, and the airlines have ways of compensating for inconveniences like that. I was compensated one time. I was on a flight from Denver to New Jersey, and I was the seat I was in. My screen was not working. So once before the plane even taxied away, one of the flight attendants came up and said, "Did they let you know about your monitor?" And I says, "No." They said, "Well, it's not working. So for the inconvenience, we're going to award you some airline miles." Well, that was fine for me because I usually use my phone or my iPad anyway. I very rarely use that unless I'm just
That's
watching
like
the map. So I figured, okay, fine. After I got home and checked my account, I was awarded 10,000 miles for that inconvenience. That's almost a whole nother flight. So I'll take that seat any day.
can I book that seat again?
Exactly. I was shocked. I was figuring I'd get, a few hundred, maybe 1,000 tops. I wasn't expecting 10,000.
Yep. It makes a big difference there.
Oh yeah, especially for something I wasn't going to use anyway.
Well, hopefully my monitor screen is working for my next getaway,
There you go.
because
Your
it's
overseas one.
it's an overseas one.
Yeah, yeah. I would hate to go overseas without any kind of entertainment.
But on the back end, I at least have my laptop to get me going if I don't have that.
Yeah, I always have stuff downloaded and available. So whether I'm on a plane or sitting in an airport or at a hotel or something, if I need entertainment, I've got it. So,
I as I say, it's always good to have a backup,
oh yes,
because you never know when you may have to rely to the backup scenario. But moving forward, drag shows and deck parties. And I'll start off with this one here. What is let's try that one more time. What the entertainment is like, the theme night and pool parties, and the amusement on board with the time cruise can expect. So each one is uniquely different.
and it depends also on the kind of cruise you're on.
And
If
yes, and it also depends the kind of cruise that you're on.
the entertainment and parties on a fully chartered cruise are going to be totally different than if you were just like when the cruise I went on, where we had our own entertainment that we brought with us. It wasn't provided by the ship. The ship had nothing to do with it other than providing venues for us to do it. So you know, and like I said, if people saw what was going on and were interested, then we would charge them in a cover charge or whatever you want to call it, so that they could attend too. But and like when we went on the Helping Hands for Cruising cruise, we had brought a band on board with us as part of the cruise, and they did two performances, both on sea days, and the cruise ship let them perform up on the Lido deck poolside. And the only bad thing is they wouldn't let us collect donations. So even though this was our group, our organization, and all that stuff, and we provided the entertainment, we benefited in very little, if any, from it, because we weren't allowed to, pass a hat, pass a can, or whatever. we could, if people wanted information, we had QR codes and handed out cards and stuff. They could get a hold of us to donate, but we weren't allowed to promote donations in any way during the event. So that was kind of a bad deal. But
And did you know that going into it, or was it like
yeah,
surprise?
we knew that going into it. We weren't very happy with it, but by that point, it was, there wasn't too much we could do about it. Now, I have known one person who went on a chartered cruise. I don't know if it was an entire ship. It wasn't a gay cruise. It was a workful improvement type thing. But some chartered cruises, the cruise ship does nothing for you. You provide your own entertainment, your people, and everything. Whereas you're used to going on a cruise ship and having all these different things provided for you. You go on one that's fully chartered. Sometimes the conditions of the charter may be you have to provide your own everything. The ship won't provide anything. So it all depends on what kind of deals you work out with the ship.
Well, I wouldn't want to have to take care of all that work.
Oh yeah. Well, like even with us, we had to pay the ship so much for the sound crew for each of the performances so that they could hook up the band and everything to the sound system there at the pool and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't a super high fee, but they didn't do that for free. We had to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's 1 second.
And also conversely, when people are on those cruises, the atmosphere can, depending on the kind of entertainment and stuff you're talking about, can be affected as well. Because if you're on a fully chartered cruise, the atmosphere will be totally different than if you're just on a cruise where there's a large group on there with their own entertainment. So if their entertainment is being conducted in public venues, then that will affect other people who are there witnessing it, seeing it, and whether they like it or not, that's up to them. But
True. Yep.
well, you have to remember, whenever you go anywhere, you got to have an open mind, because there's going to be many different people with different likes and dislikes, and it may not always appeal to you. So you can't do anything about it. You just have to. If you don't like it, you don't have to go.
And you can't please every single person.
Exactly.
No matter how hard you try.
And of course, the first time cruiser who goes on a cruise with different entertainment going on there, that could really make an impression on their opinion of cruising.
Just pops out, checking in on Maxie. Yep, and then of course there's the myths and reality. And that one is all about what are really one big party. Are they family friendly? In some cases, do you have to participate? You don't really have to if you don't want to.
No.
And can allies attend? Of course.
Yeah. Usually I have never been on a cruise where well, I shouldn't say it never, but there may have been times I was on cruises there was private entertainment I wasn't aware of. Like the one cruise I went on where there was, drag shows going on. We never saw anything of the entire cruise. So it was a very private function. They weren't out and about, and you didn't hear anything about their shows or anything. So I guess if you ran across somebody, you would find out about it. But and then as far as being family friendly, it all depends on what kind of shows they are. sometimes the shows can be kind of risque, which wouldn't be very family friendly, but other times they can be quite, hey, you found the right button.
There we
So
go. I think we'll stick with that one. I finally found the button.
yes. So it gets quite, it's like anything else. You just have to be prepared for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as if the allies contend, a lot of times if it is the kind of cruise where it's just a large group instead of a full charter, most time they would welcome allies because the more people that can realize that we don't bite, we may nibble, but it's like the better it is for all of us. So
Exactly. And like of course, like I mentioned, of course, you don't have to participate because there's nothing forcing you to do it. And of course, allies can attend. So there's really nothing excluding that you have to be associated to this just to attend.
right.
And you must attend. Like there's nothing because like even though it's totally a topic, there was a show that I wanted to go see on a sailing, and they had the early show and the late show. Well, I ended up staying back from the early show because I had to watch my niece and nephews. So my mom went off to the early show. So and I was going to catch that late show. And when she got back, she said it was just okay. And then she says, "You better get going if you're going to go." Okay, I'll go in a few minutes. Well, a few minutes came by and gone, and aren't you going to go? Give me a couple more minutes. Long story short, I never went.
Yeah. It
I
didn't
was
sound worthwhile after hearing her review,
I was just too drained out, and all she said to me was, "You didn't miss much,"
huh?
because you're gonna get some good shows there
Oh
on the
yeah.
trips, and then you're gonna get some shows like
And then it's the chance you take with anything, whether it be land based, cruise based, or anything. Whatever show you go to, sometimes it's gonna appeal to you, sometimes it won't. So
and
and as far as I know, there's only two things that you must participate with when you go on a cruise: the muster drill and the last day disembarkation. Everything else is up to you. You can do with as you please.
well, the muster drill, absolutely. That last one, I don't know.
Well, let's put it this way. They expect you to leave on the day you're supposed to leave. Whether you choose to or not can be a different story and a whole different turn of events. But
And if you don't choose to leave when you're supposed to leave,
oh boy,
you may have some issues here.
I was on a back-to-back cruise one time where we had issues with that. The because have you ever been on a back-to-back cruise?
I was on a back to back, but it was to what I've been told, it wasn't a normal back to back experience.
Okay. Well, at least on our back-to-back cruise, they got us all. Everybody who was on the back-to-back got kind of taken to one place, one of the lounges or something like
Yep,
that.
same here.
Once everybody else got off the ship, then we were taken off, run through customs, and right back onto the ship. And it took like 10 minutes. But the bad part was you can't do that until everybody else is off the ship that's supposed to be off. And there was two people they couldn't find. They had been very drunk, very obnoxious the night before, and they were still passed out in their room, and that's where they finally found them. And so they had to get them and escort them off the ship, and I'm sure they are no longer welcome on board that cruise line anymore.
Maybe not. It's hard to say
But
because they probably didn't put no fuss against it. Like, shoot.
oh, they were putting up a fuss. We witnessed it as they were taking them off the ship, so they were definitely fussing. But and with the fact that it messed up the timing of everything. They everything is on a time frame.
Oh, everything's all timed.
Yep. So when you get somebody like that screws everything up, yeah, it's not good.
Like if it was simply as crap, I overslept. I'm so sorry. Blah 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 blah, and you are working your best to try and get everything all together and get off.
Oh yeah,
They'd probably be a little bit more lenient with you.
exactly. But like I said, these people were very drunk and obnoxious the night before, all through the night. So they were already on thin ice before they decided to sleep in and not get off the ship. So I'm sure they were no longer welcome aboard.
Yeah, because when I did my back to back, like I said, it was very uniquely different from what I've been told. We went to this exclusive waiting area, but there was no drinks, no food, no nothing.
Yeah, we had juice and coffee and rolls and stuff, but that was it.
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing available. But we didn't have to get off the ship to clear customs.
Oh, that's nice.
Simply because it was a cruise that we can't do in America.
Aha.
And if some of you aren't aware of what kind of cruise we cannot do in America, it's called a cruise to nowhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember which law or act
I think it's called
it
the
is,
Jones Act.
but I want to say it's the Jones Act.
Yeah. And I have heard that some cruise lines, now I don't know if it's the cruise line or if it depends on specific cruises, but I have heard of occasions where instead of taking the back-to-backers off and bringing them right back on, because all you basically do is you pass through the retina scan and you're back on. They've brought machines on to do the retina scan right there on the ship, so you didn't have to get off, and that makes a whole lot more sense to me, because they could be doing that, while everybody else is getting off and help expedite things. So
so that's what happened with us, because it was a cruise to nowhere. They just literally scanned our card from that sail that we just finished and put us off the ship, and then took our new card and put us back on the ship.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we never got off the ship.
Yeah, we got new cards, and that was the only other than the time delay, which wasn't their fault. I mean, they had to wait till they found those people to get them off. The new cards, when we got back on the ship, they worked for our room, but they didn't work for Wi-Fi. They didn't work for our muster stations, and they didn't work at the bars yet. So when we showed up to the muster station, they couldn't scan us in. They said, "Oh, you're going to have to come back." And I said, "Hell no." I said, "I'm on my vacation. You're the one that is having the problem, not me. I'm here as I was supposed to be with my card. You can write down my name and my cabin number and deal with it however you want, but I'm not coming back because that's on my time." And then everybody else that was in line, they kind of, yeah. And that's what they ended up doing, was writing down all our names and cabin numbers, and then they took care of it later.
But it's that's what they did for us.
Because our cards didn't actually start working for all that other stuff till sometime in the afternoon. So that was something wrong with their database. So.
Yeah, that's what they did for us. But while they were in the process of flipping the cruise around, they literally just wrote down our cabin number and off it went. So
yeah, I was glad that they didn't make any bigger scene about it, other than when I started to say, "Oh no, not going to do that. You're going to do this," and that's what they did. So I'm glad they didn't make a bigger scene about it.
Yeah, and then of course we got like a little coupon that we were allowed to get one complimentary adult beverage.
There you go. We weren't compensated in any way that I know of, but
and that was allowed to be used anytime throughout the cruise.
That's good.
So I think I saved mine till like almost close to the last day. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, no, that's the only time I've done a back to back so far.
Yeah, I've done. That's the only back-to-back one that I have done. I've done some, side by sides and stuff like that, but no back. That's the only other back-to-back.
And I think I know which back to back you did it on.
Which one?
I think that was on the Horizon.
You betcha. Yeah, that was the back-to-back with the BBD rum cruise.
Yep. The one, unfortunately, I had to bail off of. But
that was a fun cruise. Both of them were.
that's what I heard. And there's footage to prove it.
Yeah, it's funny. The second cruise, which was basically there was no activities planned for that one, because that was basically that was called the recovery cruise, because all the activities were on the first one, and so anybody that just wanted a cruise to recover, that they could stay on for a second time around. Well, that I had more fun with a totally different group of people on that cruise than I did on the first cruise. Well, I shouldn't say more fun. It was just I had my own fun with a different group. So,
yep. All right.
and that was with a large contingent of LGBTQ people that because the Alchemy Bar every night at 10 o'clock, that's where they had the LGBTQ meetup. And on that second cruise, there was like somewhere between 12 and 20 of us there every night. So we all became kind of like how the teenagers run around in packs. We started running around in packs, and we were all doing things together. We'd go to dinners together. We'd go to shows. We'd go harass the guy in the piano bar. We did all kinds of. It was a fun cruise, and a lot of those people I still talk to and have cruised with since then. So.
Yep. And the number 5th one is are they worth it? Are they worth it?
There again, it all depends. There can be cost issues. If you're on on a group cruise, it's probably not going to cost you much different than if you book the cruise yourself. You may even get benefits because you're on the group cruise. On the charter cruise, it would be depending on the people running the charter. I think they can tend to be a little more on the pricier side, but they charge, they've got to provide so much more than a regular cruise, so somebody's got to help pay for it. Now on the cruise that I had been on, we did the price to book with that group wasn't a big difference between booking on your own. Matter of fact, I booked on my own because I booked it as a casino cruise, so I could get it cheap. And all I had to do was pay an additional fee to be included in all the group activities. So it wasn't bad. But if you've been on a charter cruise of some sort, I guess it could tend to be more pricier.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, there's all that hidden cost that the organizer has to cover, because they're responsible for all the entertainment.
And on our Helping Hands for Cruising cruise, there was, when you booked through our group, you got, of course, everybody got to enjoy the entertainment because it was out in public on the pool deck. So it wasn't like we had any private entertainment, but we had other private functions and stuff that we had. But we had an additional charge to anybody booking through our group, which automatically became a donation to Helping Hands for Cruising, because that was a fundraiser event for us. So we did have it wasn't a high amount, but it was a small amount. So, but other cruises, you never know what you could be getting charged for. So,
Yep.
and as far as what's included, if you're on a charter, that's up to the charter. Some charters take advantage of everything the ship has to offer. Others provide their own. So that can vary quite dramatically. If you're on just a large group, then you may have benefits with that group, but then you also have the general benefits that every other cruiser on the ship has. So
Mm-hmm. And just as a quick reminder, if you have seen my shows before, if not, it's advertisement for Justin's 40th birthday cruise, sailing from April 3rd to the 10th of 2027, so just under a year away, out of New Orleans, and it will be on Manor of the Seas. Of course, if you're interested, please reach out to me and I will get you more details or even get you booked. And you can reach me at robwithcruisebrothers@gmail.com or 409-401-1911. I think it's 1911. But it's in the description down below. Sometimes you forget your phone number. It just sometimes.
yeah, the other day I actually gave out a wrong phone number for my phone number. I hadn't done that in a long time.
It happens sometimes.
It was a phone number that I had many, many, many years ago. For some reason, I don't know why that was foremost on my mind, but it's like, oh, hold on, that's the wrong number. This is the right number.
Yeah. But anyways, the number's down below in the description for those that are listening or here live with us. And I do see that we do have someone here live, and it is Mr. Kevin from Tuber Chat. Welcome on in, and thank you for the like and share on Reddit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the final one is opening it up to the audience. And it is the live Q&A and final thoughts. And it is answering the viewers, which is you guys, questions, share our thoughts, ask viewers the topic they like to hear next, so let us know. And of course, remind everyone that please do give us a like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. So if you can do all that for me, I will very muchly appreciate it. And today, it's absolutely free, along with every other day. It's always So, of course, if you guys have questions, please do type them into the chat or the comment section down below, and myself or Dewey will do our best to answer them for you.
Yeah, it's been kind of a quiet. Hey, there we got another person in the chat.
I do, and it is Mr.
Jeremy.
Sir Jeremy. Welcome on in.
Cruising is fun anytime is here too.
And cruising is fun anytime. Mrs. Cheryl from Cruising is Fun Anytime. And I'll be meeting up with those two early next year.
Cool.
Yes. To go on that exact ship that we were just talking about earlier. in Galveston, Texas,
Oh, on the Jubilee.
on the Jubilee.
I was supposed to be on that ship when it's well, I don't know if it was actually called its inaugural trip, but it was when they were bringing it over from England over here to the United States.
Oh,
But
you're going to be on that sailing?
I originally was booked on that with my cousin, but they ended up having a delay in construction, so it was
Yeah.
bumped up like a month or so. Well, by the time they rescheduled it, I was already booked on stuff that was too late for me to change, so I had to cancel out on it and couldn't go. And fortunately, my cousin had just booked our hotel the day before they canceled the cruise, but it wasn't a guaranteed, prepaid or anything. So we didn't have to worry about losing any money on it. But there were a lot of people that had issues because they had booked, way in advance for their lodging. For some people had booked stays, extended stays earlier or later, especially if people are flying over here going to England, maybe they went earlier so they could go through the channel to France for a while and all that stuff. So a lot of things got interrupted when they did that. So I don't know to what extent, but I had heard that Carnival was working with a lot of those people to help resolve any issues they had with stuff. But I don't know if they actually offered anybody anything in order to help resolve stuff. But I never heard heavy complaints about it, so I'm assuming everything went okay.
Yeah. No, for me, I was on the second sailing out of Galveston on it, and of course that one got canceled on me. So I had to find a way to rebook it, and end up moving it to, I'm not sure what I moved it to.
Yeah, because if I remember right, the original booking was like in October or November, and then the new initial sailing happened over Christmas. Well, that cruise was already sold out, so they couldn't just bump all of us onto that cruise because that one was sold out already, and so they had to book people, either give them credit or book them on another cruise or whatever. But yeah, it really caused issues that way because the cruise they changed it to, instead of making it a different cruise, it was already a cruise that was on the books, so it was sold out for the holiday and made it very difficult for them. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to say after that one got canceled on me, I moved it. Excuse me for a second. Had a little tickle in my throat. After that one got canceled, I want to say I moved it to, not Grander. It's a G name. Can't think of the name of the ship, but it was out of New Orleans.
on Carnival,
On Carnival, it's a G name.
was that the Glory?
Glory. Yes, that's it. I want to say I moved it to the Glory. So switch it to the Glory and called that I guess a day over there. So
I've sailed out of New Orleans twice. Once on a river cruise and another on a regular cruise. So the regular cruise was on it was on a royal ship. I think it was on Serenade. Can't remember for sure. It was a Thanksgiving cruise a couple of years ago.
yeah. Yeah, no, I've only done about three ships with Carnival so far, and soon to be four. And then I think that's going to be the end of it. for Carnival for the time being.
I would be interested in trying one of their adult only cruises to see what that's like.
Yeah, that might be a perhaps I might try, but we'll have to wait and see. But I know they only run those once or twice a year.
I think they're increasing it because this story I saw today, they changed like 6 scheduled cruises on the Jubilee. So I don't
Yeah,
know if they're
well,
making the Jubilee all adult only cruises or if they just scheduled 6 different cruises. I didn't see any specifics on it. So
but no, to what I've heard about that ship is for you to be able to see and do pretty much almost everything, you need more than just 7 days on that ship.
oh yeah, well it's like the Mardi Gras and like the celebration. It's just so much, so big, and so much to do on there. You know, one week just doesn't cover it. Like,
What 7 days just doesn't cut it, Carnival.
especially when you have port days that you want to do too. I mean, 7 days would be hard to do if they were all sea days. The only thing is, most of the ships out of Galveston, they don't go to too many places. You go to Cozumel and back most of the time. Well, on a 7 day, you probably go to more places. Though I know all the 3 and 4 day ones. That's all they do is they go to Cozumel and back, Cozumel and back. So
Yeah, but the Jubilee doesn't do a 3 or 4 day. They're always at least 7 8 days. We'll see how much I can get done with this Jubilee. How much content I can get.
well, since it's the same class as the Mardi Gras and the
Yeah,
celebration, should be a good time.
it should be because I was originally going to go with Celebration, but then I went, no, I think I'm going to go with Jubilee because that I originally was going to go on that one anyways. So why not?
I've been on Mardi Gras and the celebration, but never made it on the Jubilee. So
Well, there's a sailing coming up in February.
it's on my wish list. If I find a sugar daddy or find a job, one or the other.
As always. But if there's no questions in the chat, we will start shutting the show on down. So we'll give our viewers a few more moments to pop any questions they have in the chat. And if not, we will start wrapping things up. Because now is your time to ask any question you would like about the LGBTQ plus cruise, charters, or whatever your heart desires. But and don't ask dumb. What? Don't ask no dumb shit. What makes it different? Okay, I'm trying to make this one make sense to myself. Don't ask no dumb shit. What makes it different on a LG cruise?
There's always the obvious, of course. So.
Yeah.
But we already passed that part. So
Yeah. We absolutely have. But thank you for asking, Jeremy. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, we will wrap it on up. So thank you all for coming on by tonight. And of course, our next topic is the Pride Cruise Spotlight. And will be happening. Yeah, that's correct. Will be happening on August 29th of 2026, which is the last Saturday of August, and it will be starting at 8 p.m. Eastern or 7 o'clock p.m. Central. So thank you all once again for coming on by tonight, and of course, until next time. Oh, we may have one last question squeezing on in.
Just a comment.
Oh, just a comment. All right. So, of course, until next time, I'll see you all on the high seas or wherever travels may take us. Until then, bye for now.
See y'all next month.
Let's see if I can get that video playing again for the outro. Here we go.